Hey!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Five Lakes Garage. Today, we're with Ray. Thank you. And we're gonna make a chessboard out of whatever this is.
It'll be walnut and maple.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm super excited right now because I have two projects simultaneously. One with Ray and one with Corbin. One's metal and one's wood. I'm excited. But today we're actually, just like Ray said, we're going to make a chessboard. And guess what? She actually drew me a plan. Now, our design here is that we're going to make a board. We're going to put a border around it. Everything's going to look beautiful. It's going to look just like a cutting board. Don't cut on it because we're going to be playing chess on it. But we're going to take a lot of the pieces and we're going to hand make every piece. Some of it's going to be on the lathe and some of it's going to be on this girl's little fingers doing a little pencil grinder thing. What did you call it?
Dremel.
Sure, a Dremel pencil-y thing. Anyway, we're going to film all that and we're going to show it to you and it's going to be fantastic. And if you guys want to send over a buttload of money to help put this one through college, we might sell it to you. We'll see. Anyway, all right, we're going to get some measurements.
Oh, no, we're not.
Whatever.
We're not. It's okay.
She got to go to college.
I gotta
Anyway,
get
we're going to take some walnut. Now, this walnut here was actually on the bottom of Mr. Jerry's crawl space for many, many, many decades. So it's nice and dry and it's fantastic. Now, the maple that we're using actually just came from Rockler because nobody really has any of that laying around, at least that I found. But anyway, enough chitty chat. Let's get cutting. All right, just like in any project, you got to figure things out before you tell others. That's what we did. All right, so I grabbed some of my maple and just cut it down into a little strip. This is about 1.5 inches. But still can't do it, so we cut it down here with the table saw to make a little bullet thing that looks like this. This is going to be all of our pawns. And I think we did the math, but we need 8 of these total. And that's on both sides. That's 16, and we've done 1. So we're going to make a bunch of these, and I'm going to try to get as many pieces done on the lathe as we can, because some of them, like the horse, can't really do that on the lathe. Or maybe the king, or maybe whatever. Some of it's going to have to do by hand. So I'm going to try to get these knocked out so Ray can start doing some of the other ones. And guess what? I'm not the only one that's going to be doing this. That's right, because Ray's going to do it. So one thing that I did do on this one here is I did drill a hole in here. I just used this just like I do a wine stopper. You probably saw the other video for that. You screw it onto the lathe and it stays up there and it doesn't fly in your face. Hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to start cutting out these maple chunks. We're going to get Ray over there on the planer, or the lathe, and we're going to get these knocked out. So stay tuned, because we got work to do. Alright, so we did a bunch of lathe work, we did some bandsaw work and some sanding and stuff like that, and we are well on our way to actually making a lot more of the pieces. Unfortunately, I did lose Ray already this evening because she had to go to work, but she'll be back here probably, hopefully, tomorrow to finish up some of these pieces, because I am not able to do some of the things that she does. She is fantastic. Such as, okay, so, the pawns. Yeah, I can do those. Those are good. Liking it. A castle. I went ahead and turned it down, and then she did all of the different work about the castle top. She's putting some windows in. We still got to polyurethane it. But the best thing of all is that she started doing a horse. And I did the lathe work down here to about here, down. The rest of it was all her. She went on to the skill saw, which actually is the bandsaw, and just kind of worked out the heavy stuff and then hit it with her little Dremel. Her little Dremel right here. It's battery operated. It actually works fantastic. Spins really fast. Uses some batteries. I kind of would have to say I recommend these guys. So it uses these big batteries here. These are about 3.7 volts. And it's just like a giant pencil. It works awesome. And she is awesome because she can flippity do it. I'm not doing it. But anyway, all right, so we're going to go ahead and rip off a bunch more. We're almost finished with all of the the white side. We're gonna get to the dark side, which would be in the walnut. All right, hey, it's another day and we're back in the shop. Now I got my fans going because it is, even though it's end of December, it's like 60 some, almost 70 degrees today. Bad storms later on. You might see that later on in the background. But anyway, check it out. We got some progress. Now I went ahead and made all the pieces for the light color side. And yes, not all of them are 100% exactly the same. Hey, that's why it's handmade, crafted, not a machine. No, I could actually set up some jigs out on the planer itself. I've seen it to where they'll have a piece right here, and then you have your piece, and then you kind of just move it along, and then it kind of just carves it exactly the same every time. We didn't really want that because we wanted a little bit more unique. So we are going to hand do every single one of them. Now, take a look at the King. I like the King. Now I just use basic tools for this guy here. There are some other wire burners, stuff like that. But you know, just use some regular old chisels. Anyway, all right, so we got all of the light color ones. We're getting ready to do the dark color. Now the dark color we're gonna use a walnut. I still need to get Ray back up here. She's working again. She's a hard worker, which is awesome. Love all three of my kids, just freaking knocking it out. Anyway, speaking of knocking out, I'm gonna start doing some of the walnut and go ahead and take care of that. Now, actually, before I just want to show you this walnut because it is absolutely gorgeous. Where's that? There you go. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. This stuff is the same stuff that I've been making some other projects with. It's been sitting in some guy's garage for like 80 some years. Thank you, Mr. Jerry, once again. He's getting a shout out because he is my bad influence along with Mr. Ray. But anyway, let's make some more ponds out of a different type of lumber. All right, we're moving right along, but I just kind of feel like I need to tell you a couple tips that I've learned along the way of actually doing this, and hopefully it'll make you a little more aware and, I don't know, maybe help you out in the future. Now, we're well on our way of actually making our little ponds. I did have one. Oops. Yep, that one's trash. Anyway, I got some more blanks. Now, I just cut the blanks out into a square. I went ahead and also put these right here are about an inch, inch and a quarter. I think it's an inch and a quarter. But I cut these out 1.5 inches. The main reason for that is once you actually drill the hole and actually put it in here, it might be kicked to the side this way or that way, so you're going to be wasting a little bit. So I cut off I cut these a little bit longer than what I need so I can actually trim it down, and it expands my options. Now, when actually putting the hole in this thing for the actual mandrel, you just got a regular drill press. Now this thing right here is fantastic. This another Jerry Jerry thing. I found this at a yard sale, and what it is that I put a block of wood here to actually keep it from going all the way down in case I have to drill all the way through like I do with pins. Now I'll lock that in there, but we have to make sure this is straight up and down. So you go down, and as you can see, that is not straight. Now you can put some lines on it. But if you crank this way, you can get this right there in the middle. That's about right there. Okay, so this one right here, we'll move it back and forth. This one here, move it that way. You can center it up. If you really get down to it, you can put your angle finder on your bit, and then on the base to make sure that you're nice and true. But let's get this guy going. Now I did learn, don't go too far, because you do kind of run into some issues. Alright, so we're going to put this guy onto the mandrel. Now this, I don't know if I can do it with one hand. Let me lock it down. Alright, so you're going to try to get it as close, as level as possible, pushing in while you turn it, because you're actually making threads on this. It's just like doing a wine stopper. Alright, now once you get to a point where it's kind of hurt, because you can see I'm already blistering up my hand, you can take just a wrench. Just be careful on, as you're turning this, As you can see, it's getting a little crooked. So don't just take one and rip it all the way around. Alright, so a couple more tips here. If you want them all to look sort of the same, you don't have a jig and you're actually just doing it freehand, just have one as your template. So we're going to use this one as our template all the way through of all of our ponds, because if you take this one and you put him back and then you get your next one, that's the template, it's going to slowly get off. So just use your template and it'll get you at least close enough. Alright, so we have our blank in our lathe. Now I got it spinning at a really slow speed, and what I'm going to do is actually just take my template, I'm going to take a pencil and just mark where all my indentations are. Now I know this is going to have a rounded head, a slope, and a divot right there. Now once you actually make your blank, take your straight edge and make sure that this side is nice and flat. Because remember I was saying earlier that we made it a little bit longer? Go ahead and shave off like a 1/16 of an inch or so to make sure that is actually level. And then I'm going to put a couple marks on what I'm going to be removing. Now this is going to be the ball, that's going to be the base, that's going to be your little flare right here. So yeah. And keep going. Now another good thing that you can use is a belt sander. Now I got a good one. This one's a Craftsman. It does okay. So you just sit here and hold it here, and then you're going to twist it. Only reason is that your hand might be this way, but if you twist it, it will actually go around and hopefully make it flat, so it'll actually stick flat. Look at that. Hey, I'm getting excited, but I got a lot more to do, and you're holding me up. So anyway, I got a couple more ponds, and then I got the whole back row to do on the walnut, which we can actually rip through, and we're actually using scrap. So we're not wasting anything, because this stuff is not cheap. Anyway, all right, stay tuned. We're going to keep going.
Alright, we are, God, this is so weird. I am trying to make another one of these out of, I forgot what this one is called, but anyways, out of this, so I just went ahead and I drew both of them. We have the bases done, and anyways, so I'm gonna knock out the kind of first few shapes, I guess. Sorry, I'm a yapper, I like to talk a lot. That one done, I'm gonna quickly do the other one, and then I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Obviously that took, like, well, I guess not obviously. It only took, like, 2 seconds, so they look interesting. But just for now, I'm going to kind of slim it up, because you can see from this profile, we're looking a little different. So I'm going to cut the sides, make sure they kind of taper in a lot more, and then we'll kind of work on the front and all the good stuff, but we gotta do the back first. So, I'm going to do this one first, kind of experiment, and then I'll come back with the second one once I have it figured out. Alright, now obviously a lot of things have changed, so this is where we started. We had one of those, and now we are here. So, all I used is this. I haven't used my, what's it called? Like a grinder or something? Anyways, whatever. Grinding tool. As you can tell, there is a pretty obvious height difference. So all I did is I took off some from the bottom. See, I mean, they're not twins, but it's fine. Whatever. And I'll take off a little bit of kind of girth from this guy to make them a little more similar. But anyways. Alright, now that I figured it out, let's get to going. That did not make any sense. Whatever, we'll pretend. Alright, so, and I just dropped it. That's nice. Okay, guys. Dad, don't include this in the bloopers, please. Alright, all I did... Good grief, that is so much sawdust. Okay. Anyways, alright. What I did is I took this guy, put him kind of back to back, tried to line them up as much as possible. Just like that. And then I went around and kind of traced the contours somewhat. Obviously, they will not be perfect, and that is totally fine with me. When I first traced this, it looks like I screwed up some, and that's fine. It happens fairly frequently. This is a pretty common occurrence. Alright, now, I'm gonna fix that because obviously that looks really ugly. Good grief, I have like no room. That's fine. Alright, and our ears are a little tall, so I think what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna kind of cut this guy down a bit and bring our ears down just slightly. God, that looks so ugly. It'll fix itself, guys, I promise. It'll fix itself, I swear. That way we're a little more accurate to our height, and then I can also grind some off the bottom, and I probably will. I just headbutt the sander thing. Gosh. Belt sander, that's what it's called. Yo, I'm tweaking. Anyways, alright, so we have kind of a rough outline. All I'm gonna do is kind of extend these lines up. Whatever, and it's not rocket science, it's really not. So, I keep bumping into everything. Okay. Ow. Anyway. Alright. It's not gonna be perfect. I know this about myself, and it's okay. We have, learned to get over it. Alright, I keep having to catch myself because I keep trying to move ahead. Anyway, and we can speed that up and all the good stuff. Alright, here we are. I'm going to carve out these ears right here. These ears. Alright, ears are carved. I'm also going to soften up all of these edges except for the ears. So I'm going to leave the ears because those have, I wouldn't say the most detail necessarily, but they are the smallest, and I don't want to risk cutting one off because that would really suck. So I'm going to soften this edge here, all these, anyways, and we'll get to kind of the more refined horse-like, and there they go. Anyway, the more refined horse-like shape with kind of these divots for where the eyes would be, etc., etc. Alright, there's A, there's B. I also noticed that this is going to be a little tricky, but it always has been, it's fine. When you look from the top, this is why it's important for you to kind of flip them all over and see where our contours start and end, because it's a lot smaller up here than up here, whereas over here it's definitely not the same. So we are just going to do two little lines like that, and I will cut those in. I'll try not to hit this. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so like I said, I just kind of softened up all those edges. We're looking a little better. I need to fix this kind of snout right here because, as you can see, it's a little longer than that one, so I'll fix that up really quick. Then I'm also going to create my little dents for eyes, because as you can see, there's a little bit of a dent right here. There's also one over here. Of course, with the lighting, you can't really see. Anyway, so dent here, dent here. I'm going to kind of turn it around. I'll kind of make this kind of cut right here for his neck. I'll make that a little deeper like we did before. Keep turning. They're definitely not going to look the same, but that's okay. That's alright. We'll deal. It's fine. Whatever. It'll drive me a little crazy, but it's okay. Anyways. Keep turning. Alright. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's okay. Things can be fixed. Alright, here we go. Alright, are they perfect? No. Are they identical? Definitely not, but we'll get used to it. It's fine. But our contours look pretty good. So this one kind of looks like a character from the Backyardigans, but you know what? It's fine. We'll leave it. So I think the most clear difference is going to be in the length of their snout, because the one on the right is a bit bigger. Of course, it's not focusing. Anyway, you get the point. The one on the right's a bit bigger, so I'm gonna try and fix that. If not, again, not the end of the world. They kind of look like dogs right now. All right, we're gonna have to fix that because they look like dogs currently. All right. God. Alright, we're gonna call that good. Obviously, it's not perfect. I know I keep saying that, but we're actually gonna call it good this time. Luckily, they look pretty much the same height. So despite the base on this one being slightly smaller, because I had to grind it smaller since it was so tall, we're just gonna take it. That's fine. It's whatever. They're close enough. So I will make a time lapse of when I'm over there grinding, and we'll finally finish the horses. Alright, hopefully this is on a time lapse because I kind of suck at this whole camera thing, so we'll see how it goes. All right, we have these guys, just gotta grind them down, and then we'll be done. Where is my grind tool? Where did I put it? Dude, are you kidding me? I did all that just to lose my dang tool. All right. Okay.
All right, we're back. And I have to say, I'm totally loving these pieces. Check it out. Look at look at the horse, the castle, got the rook, the bishop, got king, queen, all these. So we have all of the pieces actually made. Ray went in and actually hit it with her little pencil thingy. Now we just got to polyurethane those as soon as we sand them down just a little bit more. Now it's on to making the board itself. Now we're going to keep using the walnut for the dark area, and then we're also going to use the maple for the other. Now this stuff here, if you look at it, it's a 13/16. Well, that's what we're going to try to make this guy into. But this one is a little bit wider, so we're going to take it through the 20-inch bandsaw once again to cut these things in half vertically. Now I did use some 8x8s as my fencing. Put it on both sides because this thing has a tendency, as you're pushing it, to go this way, go that way. Only because it's so tall. Actually, this part is not that tall because we can go all the way up to here. This saw is awesome. I'm just going to crank it up, and we're going to get this guy through there, and hopefully in 1 or 2 pieces. But first, I need my glasses. Gotta find them. Well, that worked okay, but it looks like my clamp came loose. See how bad it is. All right, it's not too bad. It's just a little off on that side because my clamp came loose. I need more clamps. I need some high quality clamps. I'm annoyed with it, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and rip these down in the planer, and then hopefully we'll be able to cut it into our cubes so we can actually glue them together. I wish it was thicker, but oh well, we'll figure it out. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Handui and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I gotta clean up. All right, like you saw a few seconds ago, Ray did a fantastic job on the pieces. But now we're on to the board. Now I have two pieces here. We kind of did our measurements out, and we're going to do about 1.25 inches per square. So basically it is, 4 strips of each color. And what we're going to do is actually make it like we do a cutting board. We're going to make it up there, and then we're going to take, once it dries, we're going to put it back up. Good Lord. We're going to put it back on the table saw, cut it in the same exact on the other side, and then just flip them back and forth. But these are my two boards. I got some walnut, and I got me some maple. Basically the same stuff we used earlier. I got my saw set up for 1.25 inches. I got my spectacles that are dirty as hell. Or scratched up, which I don't know. Anyway, fan, and then chop, chop, fizz, fizz. All right, there we go. All right, now we're gonna treat this thing just like we do a cutting board. So I got my little brush, got me some Titebond 3, bit of an overkill, I know, but hey, that's what I got. Anyway, we're just going to glue this stuff together. We cut it with the table saw, so it should be nice and straight. And then, you probably saw this one before, but this is my Rockler clamp. Now the good thing about this one here is that it will actually squeeze it this way and squeeze it down to keep it flat all at the same time. I do love those things. And no, they are not a sponsor. I'm trying, but apparently they don't care. But anyway, put some glue down. Don't waste. And then use your brush. Make sure that... Now I use these brushes here, one, because they're cheap, really. And two, I don't have to worry about cleaning them, because then you just throw them away. It's not really that great for the environment, but it works. Now some people actually glue both sides of it. Like glue that side, glue that, glue that, glue that, and I never really found the need for that. Once you squeeze this stuff, if everything is tight, you lose so much glue coming out of the sides. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Have you ever been filming and you can hear every breath you take and you don't realize it? That's so scary.
The microphone will pick up a lot.
Yeah. Have you ever farted? Have you really? That's... that sounds so funny. Imagine you did like a fart compilation.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow, which in your reality will be about 3 seconds. Welcome back, new day. New day means new clothes. And also a dry board. Let's take a look. Oh, it looks good anyway. All right, there's our board. We're just gonna go ahead and pop it out of the cradle here. Now we're not gonna be sanding it down too much right now. The bottom should be nice and flat because we need to cut it one more time and glue it one more time. So let's get this guy out. Now the one thing we do need to do is actually scrape off a lot of that glue because it's not going to make it uniform. It's got to be flat in order to go on the table saw, because if it's kicked up like this, that guess what? That cut is going to be crooked and it will not glue together. Now as you can tell, we have dark white, dark white, dark white all the way up here, and we have an even number of pieces. And what that's going to do is once I cut this way, flip it over, cut that way, flip it over, all the way down to get our checkerboard. Let's see if I can find a chisel and get that glue off. Alright, pretty much got all the glue off to one side. That is going to look beautiful. I love that walnut. Man! Alright, so what we're going to do now is actually going to use our bridge and actually cut in a straight line. So as we glued it, it was off just a hair. So we want to make sure that is dead on. And so the good thing about using the bridge is that the saw blade, it's almost like a zero tolerance saw cut. So you can use that as a guide. Make sure that your fence on your bridge is true. And this one is pretty darn close. So I worked really hard on it. You should check out the video on that one. Now I got too much crap. You know, there are times when you just have to step back, relax, and clean up. You got too much crap. Nice and straight. And I've already set my my fence over here to 1.25 inches. Go ahead and grab some of these. These are actually really good for exact measurements. All right, so now we got to cut it this way, cut it out, cut it out. And if we do it right, we should have 8 different chunks. Maybe. We'll find out. All right, here we go. All right, our board is glued and it should be dry. And yes, if that looks slightly different than the one you saw a few seconds ago, it's because I had to redo it. So this is the board that I made before. As you can tell, nice straight edge. Everything is lining up beautifully, but oh, what happened here? That's because I apparently can't add. Every time you cut this thing, you shave off about 1/8 of an inch because that is about the size of your blade. Apparently I was 1 cut off of my measurement. So on this one I went a little bit extra and made it a lot wider because I do not want to have go through that again. So we're going to go ahead and go for round number 2. Man, I feel so tall. That was a step stool because she finally puts the polyurethane on this guy. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love the way that thing turned out. Absolutely freaking love it. I was kind of hoping that the polyurethane would actually cover up a couple of the crevices and stuff like that. We might put one more coat on there just for giggles. But right now, that looks freaking fabulous. Totally loving the way how that turned out. I kind of wish I filmed it. But hey, can't film everything. So let's see what this is going to look like once we're actually done with it. Oh, I'm loving it. Bam! Yes! That is going to be beautiful. Now all we have to do is take it over there, put it back into the vise, crimp it all down with some glue, put it over in the corner, let it dry, and then tomorrow we can come back and finish it up. All right, let's get over there. All right, so far so good. I am loving the way this thing actually turned out. I mostly enjoyed having some time with Ray, showing off her artistic skills of actually making a lot of these pieces. I turned some of it on the lathe. She turned some on the lathe. But when it comes down to carving out the horses, yeah, that's all her. That is not going to be me. Anyway, totally enjoy it. I'm going to be back here tomorrow to actually hopefully finish this up. Polyurethane it. We want to put a border around it. And I'm hoping, I just came up with this like yesterday. I want to make a platform out of something over here to raise it up a little bit. And actually when you pull this up, you can put all your pieces underneath it and then sandwich it down. And then you have a carrying case for all your pieces. Because we got pieces. And then we get the polyurethane, all of it. That's going to take a few days because you got to polyurethane it, wait a little bit, sand it, polyurethane it, sand it, wait it, polyurethane. I might do 3 coats. We'll find out. But anyway, you guys enjoy yourself for about 3 seconds. And then you'll be back and hopefully I'll be wearing a different shirt and we'll be doing this again. Hey, Happy New Year. Because today's January 1st. Go ahead and date me. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay because I'm ready to put this thing to rest. I'm hoping that by the end of the day, I'm going to be able to pass this off to Ray so she can polyurethane this thing to make it look awesome. I did grab one of the pieces that was kind of an oops, but man, I love the way that the walnut just darkens right up. It's so freaking beautiful. Anyway, let's get this guy, crack it. Oh yeah. That's awesome. Nice and flat. Now again, you have to get rid of the glue, and then we're going to stick it to the planer, make sure everything is nice and flat. But then we're going to put it Maybe you should look at me. But then we're gonna put it on the sanding board and put the belt sander on there and then the regular sander and make this thing smooth as a baby's bottom. And then we need to build the base. Now I was dreaming about building this base, and fortunately I don't have the tools of doing what I really wanted to do. And then I look around and I'm like, I could use molding, but I don't really want to because I really want to make it out of walnut because I think it looks beautiful. So I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. Worst case, I gotta go out and buy some more tools. Oops. It's amazing how that works. Either that or I'm gonna put Jerry on it. Jerry has plenty of time on his hands apparently. And he'll find me some tools. Unfortunately right now my wallet doesn't accommodate his searches. Found a nice drum sander yesterday. Yep. Can't do it. Alrighty. So I got a question for all of you out there in internet land. Have you hit that subscribe button and have you hit that bell? Anyway, it's planer time. Hopefully these blades are sharp enough. All right, making some progress. This is silky smooth, if you will. Anyway, we're gonna put this over to the side because it is ready for polyurethane. Now we need to work on our base. Now let's get to that point. Unfortunately, I don't have a full plan. See if I can find a full plan. All right, I think I got a plan. So I'm gonna take the board and make a base out of it, and what we're gonna use is some African mahogany, mostly because I had it available. But we're not gonna actually just build a circle, stick it on top. We wanna be able to make it to where you can put all the pieces on the inside, put this thing on top, and then we're, you know, nice and happy. So I planed down some walnut, only because I had it, and put it, and this is going to be the bottom, and we're just going to glue that together, put that underneath. But on the mahogany, we're going to use the router and actually cut a groove. As you can see, always use a template or a scrap piece of wood to make sure your measurements are right and everything like that. Don't use your good stuff on that one. So if you look up there, that's going to fit in right nicely. So we're going to put this one on the inside of it to be able to put the bottom on, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side to actually put the base itself down on it. All right, we are over here on the router table. Now, set your fence to be your depth, which I did that with my piece of scrap board to actually make sure that is right. I got my height also with the scrap board. And now we're ready to rip these over there. Now always know which direction your router bit is rotating. Now this is going to go this way. If I take this board and go this way, it's going to try to grab it and rip it through. You're not going to get a good cut. Try to go against it to where you can have a little bit more control over it, and it'll actually cut the board. So I need to rearrange my vacuum system. Get my giggles on. Always wear your eye protection. Jeez. There we go. Alright, one thing I just found out about African mahogany, which is the first time I'm actually using this stuff, by the way, but this stuff is soft. Wow. So I probably should have went a little bit slower on ripping that. Had a couple little splinters actually came off, but that should be okay because I'm going to put that on the bottom. All right, we are on the table saw. I got my little fence here, and what we're going to do is actually cut a 45-degree angle there. 4 corners, half a 360, 90 degree. So we are going to chop that right there. Now, I highly recommend picking up one of these digital angle finders. Zero it out on your base. Hit clear. Clear. Now we're at 0. Stick it on the side of your blade. Bam, 45 degrees. Now you could go by that right there, but that is a whole lot more accurate. And you don't want to get down to the edge and have to fill in a corner. You might have to do that anyway. I don't know. Not a professional. All right, if you have a square, go ahead and square them up and make sure that they are perfect. Check it out. That, take a closer look. Look at that. Not even a gap anywhere. Now we just got to figure out the other side. Now you could measure, and then you measure again, and then you measure again. Or you can just take a piece. You already finished this part. Use this as your template. Take this off. Put this in the middle of it. Not looking good. All right, one hand cut everything on the table saw. Sorry, I hit the button to record. I didn't record a lot of it, but a couple of bits of advice. When you're actually trying to make it precise, inch into it. Make a mark, cut a little bit, measure, no, cut a little bit more, measure, no, cut a little bit more. Don't just hog wild and get it done, because once you get cut too far, you're done. Grab another piece. But this is what we got so far. My corners actually came out okay. They all are 45-degree angle. That's one reason why you use the little digital gauge, to make sure that blade is at 45. Once everything is true, everything just falls into place. Now this is just sitting in there, and I have it down a little bit, and I might trim off just a little bit actually. But anyway, this is what it's going to look like. Now, in order to glue these corners together, I don't want to use nails. I don't want to use screws. I just want to use glue. So I got a set of 4 of the corners. Now, once I actually set that in there, I have this one here that I got 2 different kinds. So I can use this corner or that corner. We're going to find out which one we're going to use here in a second. Damn it. And don't step on your spectacles. All right, with a whole lot of massaging, I think we got it down. And I would have to say, I do like this one better than these. These, the board is just a little too thick for the throw of these guys. They still worked, but I had to like really fondle with them just in order to get it to actually clamp. But this guy, you put him on all 4 corners, and then before you glue it down permanently, you can move each corner to make sure it is nice and true. Now, I have the lip, let me open that up. So I have the lip to where that will actually sit right inside. Man, it's really hard to do with one hand. Anyway, so there you go. It sits right in there. Everything is pretty tight, nice and smooth. Gosh, I love the way that turned out. Anyway, you're able to pull that out, put all your pieces in, bring it back down. So now what we have to do is just put some glue on all 4 corners, cinch it down, and then wait for tomorrow, because once again, we gotta let it dry. Then once we're actually done with that side, what we can do is flip it over carefully. There you go. And then we're going to try to square that up and glue that in. And you can do it all at the same time, and that's what I'm gonna try to do. So I'm gonna find the middle, strip, cut, wedge, because I didn't have one that was long enough, but we're gonna make this work. Yeah. All right, now that is some tedious stuff. All right, so we got our board on top, we got our mahogany all around the edges. You pull it out, boom, you have all of your pieces. Sweet. All right, now we got to glue everything together. Make sure your seams are nice and tight, and then let it dry. Gosh, I can't wait till this thing is done. All right, now we got this thing ready to dry. And as you can tell, I put some weight on it, that type of stuff. Put some extra glue in there. And also, I would recommend just grabbing some parchment paper, because glue doesn't stick to parchment paper. Once that's off, you can sand it down flat and get rid of your glue stains. It's gonna look great. Parchment paper, get some. Just don't take it out of the house, because then your wife gets mad. All right, now we're on to one of the projects that we need to do while this thing is drying, because we still have to wait for that to dry and then plane it out, not plane it, but sand it, and also maybe put a little edge around the edge to make it look pretty. I'm gonna go look and see what kind of router bits I have, but first, gotta let it dry. So we're gonna let it dry and then we'll do it from there. But what we need to do, all right, all of these pieces that we made are really light. Yeah. So what we're gonna do to fix that is that I went to Home Depot. No, not a sponsor. But I went ahead and grabbed some steel rod. Now each one of them has a hole in the bottom because we had to drill a hole so we can actually put it on the lathe. So what we're going to do is actually cut off little pieces and glue them inside. Once they're done, we're going to get sand down the bottom, make sure that they're nice and flat, and that hopefully that'll give it a little extra weight on the bottom of the piece. Because right now, they're a little top heavy. Yeah, kind of wish I could have found a little bit bigger rod, but this is all really they had. You could order some online, but this is what they got. So anyway, cut off a bunch of these, stick them in, glue them, let them sit. So when these are dry, that will be dry, and then we'll be that much closer to getting finished. I am ready to take Ray and beat her down in a game of chess. Hey, we are back, and it has been well over a month, almost 2 months, since we actually started to hopefully finish our little chessboard. Actually, I've been kind of waiting on Ray. She's been really busy at work, really busy at school, and I got to get this thing done because I hate moving around the shop because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. So this is what we have. I'm not exactly sure where I left off, and maybe I should watch the video, but maybe I can do it in editing. But anyway, so we have our box. I used some African mahogany. I got some walnut down here at the bottom. But basically, I just made a square. I try to make it as square as possible. I do have a couple jigs. I got to learn a little bit more on making it perfect, but it is close enough for government work, baby. So also, I do have the chessboard. It's got one coat of polyurethane on the one side. It's got nothing on the other. So that is basically what I'm getting ready to do now. Is I've already sanded it. I've already polished it up. It should be ready to go. I'm just going to put some polyurethane on it. And then I get to put, I'm going to put some gloves on because I have to try to take these little guys and polyurethane these. I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and spray it. I might spray it, I don't know. But I do need to get a coat on this guy here. So we're going to do that and see how we go. Oh, I hate polyurethane so much. Alright, as you probably saw, I'm not the big happiest fan when it comes to polyurethane, but I do have a couple tricks for you, or a couple tips, in order for you to actually get an okay type of output. Now, if you really want some expert tips, talk to an expert. I just like doing stuff. But, you can take a look. If you go with slow strokes, you don't get as many bubbles. If you go really fast and just go, oh, I'm in a hurry, that's when issues come. That's why these guys are here, because these are supposed to be Christmas presents. And yes, it's February. And the problem with these is that I was getting ready to get it finished. I was in a rush. I slapped some polyurethane on there. It had bubbles in there, and it did not come out, and it was horrible. So I just sanded them down. We're going to put another coat on there, and then hopefully give it back over to Aunt Teresa. As far as our board goes, that kind of went on relatively thin. Same thing with our box. Just be careful. Don't let it pool. Don't do it really fast because you're going to get bubbles, and we don't want to have that. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. This stuff here will dry tonight. I'll flip it over, do a coat tomorrow, and then we're going to see a finished product. Thank goodness. Oh man, this project has been going on for months, but it's finally to the point where we can say that we are done with this particular one. Everything is sealed. It's been polyurethane. It's been carved. It's been sanded. It's been everything. But check it out. I love this thing. Every piece handmade. Everything is sanded and sealed. We got walnut. We got maple. We have African mahogany, and then also maple and walnut for the base itself. Now, I do love this thing that you can actually take the top off and put all the pieces in. Later on, I would like to actually upgrade the inside by actually putting little grooves where all the pieces can go in there so they're not just flying all over the darn place. But that won't be today and won't be tomorrow. It'll be a long time from now because I got way too many other things to do. But until then, take it easy, have fun, take a look at all the other woodworking stuff, the automotive stuff. We got pretty much anything you would probably want. But go ahead and like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and we'll catch you guys later. Can't wait till we get sitting there and play. I'm coming after you, Ray.